Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation. This is where right and left can come to be reasonable. The vexing part about Venezuela. If you ask anyone who studies foreign affairs or studies law or military strategy, if you ask, what just happened in Venezuela, was it good or bad? They will almost certainly tell you, it depends. It's complicated. And at some point they'll say, you know, look, it's mixed, but there's potential problematic aspects. Why? Because they're stupid and weak and afraid of the other side? No, the opposite. I've discussed this with a dozen or so experts in all the fields that matter. And the point is, they can keep two ideas in their head at the same time, because more than one thing can be true in a situation, right? You could be handsome and you could be a killer. Maduro could be a bad guy, and the way we did this is sending a bad message. Nuance is easy when you're not catering to a side. What's a problem is not nuance and context, but the elimination of critical thinking in favor of us or them thinking. And we know why we're plagued with this zero-sum poison: social media, force-feeding you division by design. And Venezuela is another example of not only what was wrong there with politics, but here. If you follow me on social media, you'll see why people don't feel like they can do anything but pick a side. You literally have to capitulate. You must give your head, that's what the word means, you must give your head over. You must not be a critical thinker, you must be a pack thinker. There are only two acceptable positions on Venezuela. This was great, Maduro's bad, look at how happy they are in Venezuela, he was helping our enemies, when do we go for the oil, and who's next? Or, Trump is a war criminal, free Maduro, stealing resources and destroying a sovereign is a violation of international law. Neither of those answered would pass any test on this issue in any academic setting. And what's most troubling is that the reasoned truth is obvious. You just have to switch your ors to ands, or at least a but. Maduro is bad. Nearly a third of the country was forced to flee. He's a violent despot. Okay, he allowed China and Russia and terrorists and narcos, America's enemies, to operate close to home and get access to cheap oil and precious materials. And how America did this raises serious questions of international law and proper use of the military by a president, may mess up the prosecution of Maduro, because this could be a claim of an unlawful arrest. It sends mixed messages. Yes, the operation seems to have jolted China and Russia. But who's to say that they're not going to react in kind in Taiwan or Ukraine and say, hey, Trump didn't bother with international law or even his own Congress. So who's he to tell us this was wrong? We indicted these people. We think this is a bad guy who leads Taiwan. Look, I featured Venezuelans here in our coverage because their voices matter and their relief and their plight matters, okay? It is good if the Venezuelans get their country back. And despite America's operation, we can't be sure that happens. Maduro's VP is in power right now, calling this arrest a kidnapping. And there's a power vacuum. And the idea that, well, no, there isn't. The president said, America's going to run Venezuela. What? And he said, American boots on the ground for oil. That may happen. That would be a bloody mistake, okay? And you know who would have agreed with me until a couple of days ago about that? President Trump and a lot of people within MAGA. And as for the latest, Trump wants to invest in refining and mining there. Look, if Venezuela gives America a preference on oil for helping with Maduro, great. But the idea that now we get their oil because we did this, that's not America. That's Russia, okay? America may strike another enemy, maybe buy Greenland. I mean, come on. And look, you can say, oh, Trump's got a plan. Who says he's got a plan? Who says that? I haven't heard him say it. Have you heard any plan? He didn't talk to Congress before this. There was no allowed debate on this. Look, I think that Venezuela deserves help and prosperity and a chance to dictate their own future. So do we. America's economy has a majority of this country in pain, worried, desperate for investment. Look, it's not me saying this. It's not like just my opinion. 70% of people are worried about America's next move in Venezuela. And this was before the we're going to run it, we're going to keep the oil, maybe we buy Greenland. Americans care about themselves and their lives, not Greenland, the green in their pocket. The cost of living is swallowing the American dream. It is not wrong to question what happened in Venezuela as a function of what it means here, especially the inaction here. Congress is meeting about this. They're not meeting about the cost of living. It's not wrong to want America to be the priority, okay? A president just did this in Venezuela, same president who campaigned on what? Getting out of foreign entanglements and focusing on what? The cost of living, okay? And I understand why the president believes that this is going to help him in the midterms. I don't know about that. And it's really far away. But I'll ask you this. Do you know anybody who's going to vote in the midterms on the basis of what's happened in Venezuela or what's happening in their own home or not happening? That's the question. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.